And we are live. All right.
All right.
Well, welcome to Chords and Chaos, my friend.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir. If you don't mind telling me who you are and what you do.
Hi, I'm Dan. I play guitar and sing in the band Buds, and I play guitar and sing in another band called Petty Squabbles as well.
Which one? Which one do you have more fun in? They both pretty cool.
Yeah, they're both pretty cool. I guess if in terms of more fun, I'd probably say Buds, just because we gig like way more often. I think
Right.
last year Petty Squabbles played 3 shows, which were all really cool. One of them was I was double billed, so we did a set of Petty Squabbles songs and then a set of Buds songs. But yeah, it's always a good laugh. I've been writing for that project a bit more recently. I think the main problem I've had with it is like trying to make it different, because I really hate like artists who have like 5 projects that all sound the same.
Right.
So yeah, I think I've like found a way to make it sound different but still sound like me and give it its own thing. But yeah, like Buds keeps me way more busy at the moment. It's really weird at the moment though, because we're trying to write an album, so we're trying to gig less. So it's like the quietest sort of beginning to the year that I've had in a while, which is like nice, but also makes you quite restless.
I feel you. Now, do you have a special place that you could play? If you could play anywhere that you would love to play, or do you have a special, like group of friends you would love to play with in a certain city?
Yeah, there's a few. I think there's a place in Nottingham in the UK called JT Saw, which is an old vegetable warehouse that's been converted into a studio that they have gigs at in the live room. And like,
cool. So like a boiler room setup.
Yeah. But like, it's way more. It's real like thrown together sort of vibe to it. Cool. I feel like anyone who's not into like DIY shows would be like, "What the fuck is this?" But like, if you're like into like going to like just tiny little rooms to like go
little underground type stuff.
Yeah. It's like one of my favorite like venues that we've ever played before. And yeah, in terms of like people to play with, like obviously, like I love like a bunch of my friends' bands. We kind of owe being able to play with our friends to sort of like how we've been able to sort of get out there as a band. So if we could just throw like a mates fest together, we're really close with a band called Brutaligators. We that was like the first tour we did like when we were on the same label together. Band called Slash Fiction, band called band from Chester that are called Campfire Social. They're really cool. The list could go on, to be fair. It depends on how long you've got to answer this question.
I mean, I'm just listening, man. Name them. If you want to name them, shout them out.
All right. Yeah, we're in like I'm in like a Discord group with like a bunch of really cool bands. So Couples Therapy are another one. They're a cool band from Brighton. And then their bassist is also in a band called Claw Machine, who are like a noisy grunge band. And then they're also in a hardcore band called Aku. And then they're also in like an indie emo band called Mascot Graveyard. So they've all got great names as well.
Yeah, that is cool.
Yeah, some of the members of Slash Fiction are in a band called Period Drama, who kind of sound like My Chemical Romance, which is pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, who else have we got? Oh, there's a hardcore band called Every Face Becomes a Skull. They're great. Band called Pillow Fort, who are like a Midwest emo band. Yeah, there's loads to name, but we'll keep it at that because I'm starting to run out.
It's funny you named My Chemical Romance, because back in the day when I was like in middle school, they were one of the first, big bands that like everybody was really listening to,
Yeah, it was crazy. I remember because they headlined Reading Festival over here, which is like one of it's probably the next biggest festival after Glastonbury in the UK. And like, even then it still didn't really sink in. It was only like when the rumors of them like getting back together, I was like, oh yeah, like loads of people like love this band, like live, breathe and die this band. Yeah, and then had the best like leak ever, because it was Nick Jonas in an interview just like, oh, My Chemical Romance were at our practice space the other day, like with no regard. Yeah, like no regard to the fact that they've been split up for like however many years, and like
Right.
everyone was like, "Oh my god, Nick Jonas has really leaked my chem getting back together."
Well, have you seen that show that Gerard wrote on Netflix?
Oh yeah, Umbrella Academy. Yeah,
Yes.
I've seen all of that. I quite enjoyed it. The last season, I really hated. But the other three, like I'll defend those. Like they have their problems, but like if you just want like a good, fun, campy, violent sort of show with like a crazy soundtrack, it's a good laugh.
It is good. Yeah. And a lot of people said they didn't like it, but I loved Love, Death, and Robots.
Yeah. You know, people that hate that show, I love that show.
I was like, cool. Like, I thought it was cool how they put like little 30-minute segments, together. Yeah. And they're like, hey, here's this from this movie and this movie. And then you had that one episode with the dude that played Peter Parker and Spider-Man.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Tobey
Maguire.
Yeah, Tobey Maguire. There you go.
Oh, wow. I really love the episode that it's like the robot artist who keeps like painting like a blue square, and then it turns out that he's like he was like an upgraded pool cleaning robot, and he keeps painting the square because like he just wants to go back to cleaning pools. It finished, and I just went, that was incredible. Like, what a weird thing to try and describe to someone, but like,
yeah, it is. I know what you mean because I've seen that episode. But the one with Toby was, remember the one where they open up the refrigerator and the freezer?
Oh yeah.
And when he's looking in the freezer, all those people start shooting like arrows at him and whatnot.
Yeah. That one's really cool as well.
Yeah, that was the one he played in.
Oh, nice.
That was cool. I like the one with the pirate ship.
Which one's that one again?
I think that was on season 1, and I believe it was episode 2.
Oh, okay. I'm trying to remember pirate ship, but I can't remember it.
Are you a big Netflix guy?
Less so as time goes on. Like they had like a really weird like a phase like a few years ago of just having like loads of good anime that was going like directly to Netflix. So they had like Beastars and Brand New Animal. Apparently Orb's really cool. My friend keeps telling me to check that out, but I haven't. But
I don't think we have that one over here.
Oh, okay. I think it's like an anime about the people that were trying to argue that the Earth is round. So quite a relevant topic, I guess, nowadays.
right. For sure.
Yeah, but the last thing I watched on there was Perfect Strangers, and the first couple of episodes are really good, and then it just
it drops off.
Did not stick. Yeah. It just kept sort of throwing in like twists where you were just like, I don't care.
There's this new show called American Primal, and it's it's American Indians and like Western cowboys.
Oh, okay.
And like the fight scenes in that, dude, some of them you're sitting there and you're not expecting it to happen. Like there's one, the first episode, he takes a hatchet and just rams it into the dude's head, and you're like, whoa. Like, if you weren't ready for it, you're just like, whoa.
Yeah. That's like have you watched Shogun on Disney Plus?
I have not.
Oh, I was expecting it to be like quite like real because it's like set in feudal Japan. I was expecting it to be like real and like quite brutal, but there's a bit where someone speaks out of turn and the samurai just decapitates him, but it's like blink and you miss it. And I remember it happened. I just went, what the fuck? Okay.
Right. It's one of those what the fuck moments for sure.
Yeah.
But let me see. I got some questions I had written out. Let's see where I put them. I always hide them from myself in my notes. I got like thousands of notes that I end up writing that I never look at,
Yeah. Is it all on one file, or have you separated them into different notes?
Oh, God, I wish I had them in one file. It says right now I got 175 notes.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, I think I need to start, graphing it or something.
Yeah. Get a little corkboard going in your room or something.
Yes, sir. All right. So here's my first question. Your background and your journey. Can you share your journey and what led you to where you are today?
Oh, wow. Okay. So I guess in terms of music, my journey started in school when I was about 14 or 15. I was really I was basically like, I wasn't like terribly behaved, but I wasn't like very well behaved either. And for some weird reason,
dude.
And for some weird reason, my drama teacher like recommended that I did like the after school drama class where they like basically put musicals on.
Right.
And it turned out that I was all pretty good at singing, so I would get good parts in it. And it was like when I first started to succeed in school, I guess. And then I ended up doing like, we had like a performing arts class that you could do when you were in like your later years at school. And then I remember we had to do like a what you want to do as a career kind of thing. And I was like, well, musical theatre is pretty cool. I hear the pay's pretty good. And then my teacher was like, it's not good at all. And then I went, oh, well, I like singing, so maybe I'll become a musician because, you know, musicians are all rich.
Right.
Yeah. Little did I know. And then, yeah, I think I got a guitar when I was like 14, just started learning like Green Day and Blink-182 songs. And then there was like one school band in my year because it wasn't like a very cultural hub type school. And I think just like out of arrogance was like, well, I'm going to form a band and I'm going to be better than that band just because. And we weren't at all. And then, but like the interest just sort of stuck. And then I did like music in college. And then when everyone decided to go to university, I was like, right, well, I better go to university. What should I do? And then decided to do music again. And then while I was at university, I formed like a band that I was then in for 8 years maybe, and they were called Kilkovec, just a made up word after looking at like a bottle of cough medicine. And we did that until 2018, where, and like we were kind of like a do what we want kind of band that sort of evolved into like a post-hardcore band, but like we would sort of either end up on like really heavy like lineups or like pop punk lineups, and it was always like if we were always the heavy band on a pop punk lineup, or we were always like the band that people would be like, what the hell is this, on like a heavy lineup. And then we decided we were going to like change our sound up, and we wrote what became the first Buds EP. But my friend who played the bass in it, there was only the three of us. It was me, my friend Matt, and our drummer Tom, who drums in Buds now. And he decided he was going to move. Matt decided he was going to move to Manchester, and we were like, okay, cool. Well, if you're going to go, it doesn't really feel right saying we're the same band when like it's just been the three of us for like however many years. So yeah, we and Tom were like, right, we'll start again. We'll take all these songs that we had, and then we'll call the band something else. And then we wrote down like a load of names, and for some weird reason we stayed on Buds. And then we were like, we'll put a full stop on it, and then our handle can be Buds full stop, and that's how we won't get lost in searches. Yeah, and then it kind of just like progressed from there. I was sort of trying to like write songs that still sounded authentic, but like had more of a sort of pop sensibility to it. So like just make sure all the choruses are catchy. And then I think I've just become obsessed with that as time's gone on. And now it's like just trying to like force more genres into it, but like still give it that same sort of core philosophy, kind of like Coheed and Cambria do, where it's like they do like a whole load of stuff, but at the end of the day, like the chorus comes and you're like, oh yeah, I know that chorus. Yeah.
Like I was waiting for that part.
Yeah. And then we got signed to a small label with our second EP. And then they started booking shows for us, and then the guy that ran that label did our third EP as well, but like then got a job at like a relatively good, like bigger agent. So now we get to do like slightly more ambitious stuff, which is like really cool. But
yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. It's like we know we're not like famous, but like we've already done a load of stuff that we never expected to do. We were like, oh, that'd be nice. But now it's like,
how long have y'all been a band for?
So 2018. So this will be our seventh year.
7th year.
Yeah.
Wow.
And yeah,
that's awesome, man. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, it's hard to commit to anything for that long. So
right, even a relationship, let alone I can imagine band members.
Yeah. Well, we've only really like fluctuated bassists. We had like one bassist for about 6 months, and then we got our second bassist, and she was in the band until 2023, I think. And then we've had on our current basis now. So fingers crossed this is it now, and we can just carry on being the same four people.
And be like Silverstein, who's had basically the same members for 25 years.
Yeah, that's like the dream. Or like, because Green Day's been the same people as well the whole time, hasn't it? Or did they have a different drummer? Yeah,
I think that's the only thing they changed out, which is about the same thing that Silverstein did. They changed out a bassist, I believe.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. Yeah. Hopefully it'll just be us from here on in.
Now, being from the UK, do you remember the band called Funeral for a Friend?
Oh yeah. How can I forget? They're always around.
I bring them up and nobody knows what I'm talking about, and I was like, how? That band was such a great band.
Yeah, I think before like the sort of like Fall Out Boy era of emo came into the thing, like they were sort of leading the charge for like UK emo for sure. Like they were they were huge. They were like inescapable for ages, and like they sort of split up, got back together, and everyone went crazy for it. Like they sell out like every show they ever put on. But now they've changed vocalist. Huh?
What happened to them?
I think they just kind of decided that they were done. I think like I don't know if it's the same in the US, but the UK's got like a kind of weird thing with like nostalgia, and like I feel like now that they're back, it's mostly they just do like the first 2 albums and then maybe like a couple of songs from like the rest of their catalog. But their vocalist the original vocalist has now left, and now they're doing stuff with the vocalist from Holding Absence because the band want to write, but apparently the vocalist just kind of wanted to tour once a year and just do the hits. But because Holding Absence are quite busy, I don't know where they're at with making more music, but I'm very curious to hear it.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah,
they were one of the first bands, dude, that I used to listen to back in the day. It was like them, Hawthorne Heights, of course, Silverstein, and there was not Bring Me the Horizon. Who else was it? What the hell did I listen to back then? Chiodos. You ever heard of Chiodos?
Yeah. I was very into Dance Gavin Dance back in the day, and like, dude, just all of their friends on MySpace.
If you like them, so on March the 8th, right here on this live, I will have the guest called Grapevine Gossip. They're some of my good friends. Well, they're becoming some of my good friends, and I will have them live on here. They are very similar to Dance Gavin Dance.
Oh, cool. Are they on the guitarist label? Because he just loves to release bands that sound like Dance Gavin Dance.
Dude, they're awesome. And how I found them was through that Ghost Killers entertainment page, which I'll send it to you after we get off of here. I'll send you the link so you can join and find some good bands,
Yeah,
maybe
nice.
Reach out and make a collab or something with somebody.
Yeah, that'd be quite cool.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Is there anybody that you would like to collab with?
Do you know the band Enter Shikari?
Called what?
Enter Shikari. I don't know how big they are in the US, but they tour there every now and then.
I don't think I've heard of them.
Oh, so they're like a rock / electronic band. They were like very much like a post-hardcore band back in the day, but they've kind of gone a bit more mainstream, but they still keep it quite interesting. I think
so
it'd be really cool.
So they got a little EDM in there?
Yeah, a little bit.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, I'd really like to, I think, collab with their vocalist, because he just seems to have like a really broad palette for like music, and I think we could make something very interesting. The same with like either Ian Shelton from Military Gun or Brendan Yates from Turnstile, because like they just seem to like be massive music nerds, and I think we'd just make something really cool if we got to like work with them.
That would be awesome. Now, are you an EDM guy? Do you like that?
Not so much. Like, it's quite nice if I've had a few drinks and I'm out, but I rarely do that nowadays.
I feel you. I don't know if you've ever heard of the artist. He's from over there called Funtcase.
Oh no, never heard of her.
I met Funtcase at a festival in Orlando back in June. He's super awesome, but when he started talking, he was super hard to understand at first. But it was funny because he has a mask that he wears, when he plays live, so nobody knows what his face looks like. But I've been following him since 2010. So, I've obviously seen live interviews without his mask on. So it was funny because one of the artists that I was listening to he got done and he was signing autographs. I'm walking through the crowd, and the first dude I walk up to, I was like, hey, Sanzu's over there signing autographs. And I had my glasses on, and I was like, whoa, am I seeing this right? And I flipped my glasses up, and I was like, yo, you're mother freaking Funtcase. And he was like, shh. he was like, dude, don't be screaming that. He's like, you're gonna have about 250 people over here in 2 seconds. And all of a sudden, I seen people turning around as soon as I said it. They were all behind him, ready to get autographs and shit. And he was like, oh man, look what you started. He was like, you damn Americans can never keep your mouth shut. He was like, nah, I'm just playing with you. He's like, I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to talk to my fans and enjoy people. And I was like, can I take a picture? And he's like, of course. He was like, why else would you have came up to me? He was like, if you didn't want to talk. He was like, I'm not an asshole. He's like, you see me in the crowd, I'm chilling. I'm just a fan right now. He's like, I'm not your actual, DJ. I'm just a fan right now.
Yeah.
And I respected that, that made me respect somebody because I was like, one, he's cool. He's cool with his fans. And he actually is enjoying the festival as a fan and not just an artist,
Yeah, that's like in the UK, there's a festival called 2000 Trees, and like it gets like this year they've got like Coheed and Taking Back Sunday and Alexis on Fire playing, but like they get a lot of like up and coming bands to play it, and loads of them you get free entry if you play it, and like loads of them just hang out because they want to like go see stuff because they're all like fans of music as well as musicians, which is really cool.
I used to really like Taking Back Sunday, and I haven't listened to him in a long time, but I've been hearing a lot of bad things about him. I've been hearing that the lead singer, I think, got on drugs really bad.
Yeah, I think he's always kind of had a bit of a problem with alcohol. I guess maybe drugs as well. Apparently, the drummer left recently because he was just trying to have all the money and not like distribute it evenly. The most recent album they released, I listened to it because the lead single was quite good, and I thought like Adam sounded like really good. Like his like vocal performance was. I was like, oh, okay, he's still kind of got it. And then that's like the only song I remember from the whole album. But like
it was for me, it was like Making Damn Sure and What's It Feel Like to Be a Ghost or whatever.
Yeah, like Louder Now. Like I was obsessed with that album when I was younger. Like I was like. Because it was like emo, but like there was just like so much like musicality. Like it was like really interesting. There was like loads of cool stuff that like the guitars are doing, and like they're just sort of, I don't know. There's just a bit more of like a intelligence to it, I guess.
Right.
Like,
it was more like a cool chill vibe.
Yeah.
And everybody at that time, they weren't super big, but they were kind of, but it wasn't like the most mainstream band out there. Like, it was almost like you could listen to them, but everybody else wasn't listening to them at that time.
Yeah.
I kind of liked bands like that.
Yeah, they kind of have that advantage where they don't have to like totally pander because they're kind of just loved for doing their own thing, and they're not too worried about being like 10,000 tickets or 50,000 tickets. Like, we'll play to like a couple of hundred, maybe 1,000 people, and that's cool. Yeah,
that's like I got a friend. Have you heard of the artist Marshmello?
Yeah, I know of them. I couldn't tell you a single song.
Okay, so Marshmello's a big EDM artist, but here in Atlanta, we have a girl named Leah Culver. She used to play, like you were saying, the do-it-yourself kind of venues, underground type scene. She used to play at a place called Quad back in the day, which unfortunately that venue fell apart. They actually made Drugs Inc., if you've ever seen that show.
Oh, no, I haven't.
Yeah, there's a whole episode on it, on the whole club being shut down and everything. It's pretty wild.
Wow.
I won't get too into depth because I don't know don't want everything, to get leaked and get in some kind of legal trouble or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, Leah used to play in front of, dude, like 50 people. And now she's playing festivals like in the UK and America and hell, all over the place, dude.
Yeah.
Like
cool.
50 to 60, 70,000 people. It's crazy. And like people are like, you know her? And I'm like, yeah. I remember when she was playing in front of 50 people and not a single soul really knew who she was. And then, now she's who she is. And it's pretty awesome to be like, yo. And she's actually a cool girl. Like when she comes through to our city, she'll send me a message and she'll be like, hey, man, you want to come to my show? I'll send you a free ticket. Cool. And I'm like, really cool. I really do because, I've been watching you since you had 50 people in the crowd. I've been watching you since you were called MK Ultra, and now she's actually using her actual name.
Yeah.
I think that works better, her using her real name, because when people search it automatically just comes up her.
Instead of like a million conspiracy stuff.
Yeah, because when she was MK Ultra, dude, it was just bombs and all kinds of shit. And you're like,
it's such a great name,
find you. Right. You're like, I can't find you anywhere, girl. I'm just finding this. So it's crazy. So let's see here what else other questions. All right, here we go. Challenges. What are some of the biggest challenges you faced and how did you overcome them?
I guess the main one with like music for sure is like time and money, like because we've all got like full-time jobs, so then it's like any remaining energy you've got that isn't like conflicting with your social schedule is like cool, right? Let's do some music. But like I'm guessing it was the same in America. Like after COVID, everything just got like way more expensive, so like we're kind of looking at recording now and it's like, God, I feel like we used to be able to do this for like so much less money. I think we did 3 songs at the beginning of the year, and I think it cost us the same as it cost us to make our whole EP, the first one that we made. But like, I guess like it's good that our producer's like putting his rates up because he deserves it because he's very good. But like, it's just like, oh man, like how do we afford this?
Right.
Yeah, we've been pretty lucky the last couple of years. Like going to America last year, we paid for all of that with like the money that we earned from playing shows and selling merch. We did have to like scrimp and save. Like we had a driver for one tour, but he did it for free. I think we got like deals on merch. We like fronted a bit of the money for it, but we like made it all back, which was really cool. So we know that we can do it, but like it's still just like, oh, it's all so uncertain. I wish we just had like money that we knew was coming in that we could focus on it. But yeah.
Now did COVID screw up a lot of crap over there now?
You basically couldn't do anything for about 6 to 8 months in 2020 because everything was closed apart from like supermarkets.
Right.
And then like in the middle of 2021, you could start going to gigs again. We sort of did like seated ones, and then I think it got to the summer and the government just kind of went, fuck it, and then just opened everything back up again.
My sister unfortunately actually died from COVID.
Oh no. Oh man.
Yeah,
sorry
my
about
sister, it's all good, brother. I mean, I tell my mom this all the time. My sister was the lead director in charge of her preschool, which was a church. So I believe that God needed a lady to take care of the angel babies, and I believe that's where my sister is today, taking care of those little babies up in heaven.
Yeah. Fair play.
And my brother, it's sad. My brother got sick at the same time my sister did. So my brother was two doors down. They both ended up, I don't know if y'all know what ICU is over in.
Yeah.
Okay, so intensive care.
Yeah.
So they were 2 doors down from each other. My brother was in ICU for 240 days, hooked up to a ventilator. COVID got him so bad he had a double lung infection, had to get both his lungs replaced. Thank God he got on the transplant list.
Yeah.
So that happened, and it's really fucked up, dude. Because my brother never got to say goodbye to my sister, so he woke up you know, he was in a coma for all those days, and he didn't wake up until right when they told us, hey, my sister's no longer going to be with us no more, you know? So COVID
man.
screwed a lot of things up for me and my family, but you know, everything unfortunately happens for a reason.
Yeah, it's true. It put my nan in a bed for like over a year. It put my uncle in a coma.
God bless, man.
Yeah, but like, yeah, both of them pulled through. Like my nan's 91 now though, so like she's hanging in there.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, my uncle's still got like health complications from it. He's like up and working and stuff, but he's not been the same since he had it. The first time I got it, I mean, it obviously didn't do anything to me quite as bad, but like I couldn't leave bed for like nearly 2 weeks. It was crazy.
Yeah, I got it twice. I caught it once with my ex-girlfriend. We both had COVID for a while, and you know, and the first time I knew that like something was wrong, at my old apartment, the trash compactor was up the hill. So I'm going up, and I got halfway up the hill with the trash bag. And dude, you would have thought that trash bag weighed 400 pounds. I got up the hill and I was going, and I was like, okay, something's wrong. I don't feel right. I was like, I just dropped the trash bag on the middle of the corner. I was like, somebody else can worry about this. I was like, I feel bad leaving it here on the corner, but I was like, somebody's gonna at least grab it, probably take it up there. Like, and I got back home and I called my ex and I was like, hey, do you feel like crap? She's like, yeah. I was like, we need to go get tested for this shit. We did, and then we went to this place, and it was weird, dude, how it worked in America. You could drive up to a little location, and they would have 2 doctors on each side of your car. And so, like, if you're in the driver's seat, somebody would stick this thing up in your nose and swab your nose.
Yeah.
Dude, this one lady, I about punched the lady in the face. Dead ass. She shoved that thing so far in my nose, I thought she poked my brain like 3 times.
Yeah. I actually worked at a testing place in the UK, but like the one that we worked at, we basically showed you to a cubicle and then we talked you through it. We weren't like allowed to do it ourselves. And like when parents would bring their kids in, we'd be like, you see the like fluffy bit of the tip? Don't put that any further than the fluffy bit up their nose. And these parents would just be like, look, you think they were like digging for something in there. It was horrible. But like,
you feel bad for the kid.
Yeah. Some of them were like coming out of like nosebleeds and they'd all be like hysterically crying. It was horrible.
Yeah, that sounds pretty bad, man. Yeah. But yeah, you're saying the prices of things. Dude, here, the prices of eggs are at the highest they've ever been in all of my life. Yeah, I think we're like close to $5.25.
Whoa.
For a little thing of eggs.
My only reference is when I was in Florida, I think an egg sandwich was like $5.
Yeah.
From like a 7-Eleven.
So the next time you go to Florida, man, I don't know if you've seen it, but there's a grocery store called Publix.
Yeah.
So you got to go in Publix and get yourself a chicken tender sub.
Oh, okay. I'll have to pass that on because I'm a vegetarian, but I'll have to pass that on to the other two. Yeah.
Well, hey, I mean, you can still get you one. Just get you all the vegetables and all that stuff that you want on there. Don't get no meat.
Yeah. That sounds good. I remember Wawa while we were out there. That was really cool.
Wawa, yeah.
Yeah, there's like make to order like big sandwiches that are like warm. Oh, amazing.
Did you happen to see Buc-ee's?
No, what's Buc-ee's?
Okay, so we got this place. It's a worldwide, well, not worldwide, but it's an American chain now. Yeah, exactly. Called Buc-ee's. So what it is it's a big ass gas station. And dude, the damn thing, I think they have 275 gas pumps. But so like people can just pull up, but inside of it they have like it's a whole shopping center. So they sell like fudge, they sell sandwiches, they have all kinds of drinks. They sell merchandise. Like you can buy a freaking shovel there if you need a shovel for something.
Oh wow!
You can buy band. They sell band equipment. like it's a whole ass store, dude. It's not just a regular gas station. Like people will drive. Like the closest Buc-ee's, I think to me, I think it's like maybe an hour and some change from my house. And then the one before they built that was 3 hours away from me. And I used to have friends that would call me up and be like, bro, you want to just drive to Buc-ee's for the day? And then we come back. And I was like, fuck it, let's go. Let's go. I was like, I'm down. I was like, we're going to Buc-ee's. That's cool.
Yeah, that sounds. I think next time we go over, we're definitely got to try one of those.
I don't know if Florida has them though.
Oh,
now that I think about it, I know they're in Georgia, Texas. I think Texas is where they originated.
Oh, okay.
You'll have to look it up. I'm not exactly sure where they are, but
yeah.
If do you eat fudge?
Yeah, I could. I haven't eaten it in ages, but like,
okay,
yeah,
bro. When you go to Buc-ee's, get you some fudge. They'll give you a box about that big around, and you can pick any kind of flavors you want. I personally love the cookies and cream.
Oh yeah, that sounds right up my street. I love any cookies and cream flavors.
Bro, that was so good.
Nice.
But yeah, y'all got anything like that over there?
In terms of like where you can like go get petrol from, like nothing of that scale. We've got like I feel like it's every band from the South's like favorite service stop in the UK is called like Cobham, and it's like it's got like just usual stuff. It's got like a McDonald's, a Leon. I think there's a Pizza Express there as well, but it's just like this big round. It's just quite well laid out, and like it's just like loads of like really good memories of like going there after like playing a gig in Brighton. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Now, is there like for Australians, their favorite food or something that they eat a lot would be like Vegemite. Is there something?
Oh yeah.
Is there something over there that y'all eat that's Americans might not know about?
A typically British thing. Do you have fish and chips in America?
Yes, we do.
Oh, okay, yeah, like that's obviously like the big thing in the UK, and like we love curry as well, like Indian curry, like tikka masala, that kind of thing. I'm trying to think something that Americans might not know about though. I guess like a roast dinner, like you wouldn't have.
We have roast. A pot roast.
So it'd be like, I guess typically it'd be like a roast chicken, potatoes. Yorkshire pudding, do you know what that is?
No, I do not. What is that?
It's kind of like it's made with like what would be pancake batter, but you like cook it in the oven in like what you put like muffins in, and it sort of comes out as like this sort of like well of like roasted batter basically. But you sort of have that.
So is that like a rice pudding?
No, it's way more savory, and it's like solid, like a thing that's like kind of trendy now that we get at a few festivals. It'll be like a big one of those that they'll then like put the ingredients of a roast dinner in, and then they'll wrap it so it'll be like a Yorkshire pudding wrap with like, and like they're very messy, but like they're a big hit. I find with festivals.
If you don't mind, whenever you send either the vinyl album or the T-shirt, if you don't mind, throw some local candy in there for me.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can do that.
I want to try some candy from a different country. I've always wanted to do that. Well,
yeah.
We had a kid that was in my class in high school. He was from Ukraine. So he brought a bunch of Ukrainian candy over. And some of it was weird, dude. Like some of it was actually good, but some of it I was like, yo, how are you eating this? And he'd been like, my grandma used to give me this when I was a kid. I'd be like, okay, that kind of makes sense, You're a kid and like, your grandma would give you the candy, and I can understand why you got that acquired taste. But
yeah,
I was like in high school, I was like, nah, this crap is trash.
I feel like that's the way you're going to feel about UK candy, though, because like a lot of it is American candy, but with less sugar because of our like sugar taxes and stuff like that. So everything's just like not as sweet. So it's kind of like half-assed candy.
I forgot about that. Y'all do take it easy on the sugar over there.
Yeah.
Which is not a bad thing. That's probably why half of our country is obese, man.
Yeah, I remember having a sandwich in the US and being like, why does this bread taste like cake? Like,
right. Like, hold up. Let me check the calories here of this bread. Oh, shit. 550 calories? You're like, damn, dude. But do you have a favorite kind of candy?
My favorite is possibly Oh, good question. What have I had recently? It's not, but the only thing that's come to mind at the moment is like a Kit Kat. Like I feel like it's just like good in a jam. You just be like, I want something sweet. We'll go for a Kit Kat.
Yeah,
Or
right.
There's a company called Love Raw. They make like vegan chocolate. I was vegan until very recently. I've gone back to just being vegetarian. And like they do like, do you have Kinder Bueno in America?
Yeah.
They did a vegan version of that. Yeah, the little like hazelnut snap things.
Yeah, exactly. Those things are really good.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The Love Raw vegan Kinder Bueno, basically. Those are great.
I had down in Florida, actually. It was in Orlando. I had some old friends of mine. They played a show down there, and one of the venues actually had a taco truck, and it was all vegan. And I didn't know anything about vegan food at the time, you know?
Yeah.
And I didn't even know that the taco was vegan. I'm asking a lady, she was like, do you want this and this and this? And I was like, yeah, I want the meat. I want that. And then she looks at me after she puts it all together and she goes, you do realize this is vegan? And I was like, vegan? I was like, what the hell is vegan? I only know about, vegetarian and if I eat meat or not, like, and if I'm a dinosaur, if I'm not a dinosaur type shit. And she started laughing and she was like, I promise you're gonna like it. And then I was like, what's this sauce right here? She had this green sauce. And she was like, it's a aioli with, what was it? Cilantro sauce. And I was like, is that vegan too? And she said, yeah. I was like, all right, put a little on the side. So I dabbed my finger in it, dude. That sauce was amazing. I ate 2 tacos. I walked back after my friends got done playing, and I went back to her. I said, let me get 2 more. And I said, let me try something different off of your menu this time that you recommend. She said, well, this is my second best item. And I think she gave me, it's called a falafel, I believe.
Oh, yeah. It's like deep fried chickpea stuff. Yeah, delicious.
Dude, that was so good.
Yeah, that's some good stuff.
But that was really good. And so you said you got a new EP coming out?
We're probably definitely gonna have some singles coming out this year. We'll hopefully get the album, if not recorded, then like finished written. We recorded 3 songs at the beginning of the year so that we could definitely have something to come out this year, because we sort of just had a busy year of gigging last year and didn't release any music. And like nowadays you've got to like release like every year, which is super tough.
Right.
But hopefully we're gonna have some stuff out this year. We need to like work on the videos and all of that good stuff. But yeah, we're gonna have some music this year for sure.
You got any features on there, or talk about that? You don't have to if you can't. I know how legal rights work and whatnot. You only talk about certain things.
Nothing that exciting, I'm afraid. It's all us, but it's the first music that's going to have our new bassist on it, and like she is an amazing singer. Like she fronts her own band called Wanderlux.
She is very good.
Yeah, and she like her vocals are like nuts. She's like this tiny little, I think she's 4'11", maybe 5 foot.
Little and spitfire.
Like just has like this massive, I think classically trained voice. She can also like play piano. She's mega talented. So I'm very excited to like have her on a record, because like her voices like meld really well together as well from what I've heard. So I'm looking forward to people hearing it and being like, whoa, yeah.
Oh, it's not the girl that's already in y'all's band.
No, that was our previous bassist, and like she was also brilliant as well. Like really good for the band. Everything that she added to that last EP, I think it's why it like there's such a jump of quality, because like again like the way that our voices like meld on it just make it just sound like so much more something. And like I feel like it's definitely like a sound that we need to make sure that we always like keep in the band, because it just works really well. And I love like the Pixies and like Alexis on Fire and stuff, like where it's like quite different voices coming together to like make a really cool sound.
Yeah, I love that. Like for instance with Silverstein, I love when Shane does the clean vocals, but I love when he does his screaming vocals as well, because his screams are so clean.
Yeah.
But they're not raspy, and they're not, distorted screams. It's so clean, and you can actually understand what the hell he's saying. It's not like, "Rah!"
Yeah.
I can't do that well, but
no, I know what you mean.
just doing that kind of made my throat a little raspy there. So, like, there's people, when they play shows, they get pissed because he does, some acoustic things. And they're like, why is he doing an acoustic? I was like, dude, you realize he screamed half the show? He has to take some kind of vocal break. Otherwise, it's just going to keep messing up his vocals. Like, that's what happened with Oliver from Bring Me the Horizon.
Yeah, he fucked his voice up for a long time as well.
Yes,
like,
he did.
A long time they were just like playing with like a track for loads of his vocals. He would just be there like quite obviously miming to it. You'd be like, it's fine, let him have
it. He would lip sing over everything. Looking like Hannah Montana over there.
Yeah, or like Jordan, who used to play in the band, would just be doing like all the cleans, and then I think his like Ollie's would all just be tracks. But yeah.
Now, are you a fan of Slaughter to Prevail?
I've heard the one song, and I'm very impressed by the vocals. But like, I've not like gone in on it. But I've seen the like video of him like pulling the microphone away, and it's still just like so loud. Yeah,
dude, Alec the Terrible is a wild man, dude. Like, he's crazy. I watched an interview with him. He's got the scar right here. And they asked him, they said, so how did you get that? Did you get like your ass beat or something? And he was like, no. He was like, I was just like 14 years old and I took a razor blade and cut my face. And I was like, you're 14 years old and you took a razor blade to your face. That's pretty intense, bro. Like, yeah, at that age, we were piercing our own lips and our nose and, eyebrows maybe, but we weren't taking razor blades to the face.
Yeah. Oofed.
But he's crazy. Have you seen the video where he goes up against a bear?
Yeah, I think I was gonna say, didn't he like literally wrestle a bear at one point?
Yeah, he did. And then he actually just had a fight recently. He does bare knuckle fighting.
Oh, crikey.
Watch that, dude. He fights with no gloves, just bare fists. And he knocked the guy out. I
might be too squeamish for that.
Dude, he knocked the dude out in like 40 seconds.
Wow.
And now he's about to fight another league. I think it's in like March the 12th, I believe. So next month, actually, he'll be fighting another fight.
Wow.
So I like Alec. A lot of people don't like him, but they don't like him because he voices his true opinion,
Yeah.
He just says what the fuck he feels, and he's not scared to say what he feels. And I love people like that, I would rather you tell me how you truly feel than lie to me, and be like, this is how I want you to feel, but that's not really how I feel inside, I
get that.
I'd rather people be authentic.
Yeah,
and
for
true
sure.
to themselves.
Yeah, you get some interviews and people are very media trained, and you're just like,
right.
I don't feel like I've learned anything from this interview. I feel like I've just watched someone go through the motions instead of like say anything.
Well, I thought you meant today. I was like, damn.
No, not this. I'm not media trained at all. Like, I just sort of spew until someone's like, cool, next question.
My heart sank there for a minute. I was like,
no. I mean, like stuff that I've seen, like
on
artists.
YouTube.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of the YouTuber Nardwar?
I have, and for some reason, I've never like just sat and watched a video. I hear they're really good, but like I've never like just sat and watched something. But apparently, like he learns stuff about the band from like the obscure times, and they're always like, how the hell do you know that?
like obviously you know who Snoop Dogg is. So
yeah, of course.
He had one with Snoop Dogg, and he started pulling out vinyl albums from like when Snoop Dogg was like 5 years old that his grandmother would play, and Snoop Dogg's just sitting there and he's like, how did you even know that I listened to this at that age? And he was like, oh, I contacted your grandmother or something. And he was like, how'd you get that information? And Nardwar's just sitting there like, I know everything. And it's kind of weird because he's almost like he's government or something, like he's a CIA agent or something.
Yeah, if wasn't doing Nardwuar, he probably would either be in the CIA or he'd be in prison for stalking.
Right. Like there's one interview I've seen him. He went in. He was a much younger guy, and he went into a courtroom and he asked the judge some question, and the judge was just like blown away, but he didn't know how to answer him. And Nardwuar is just like actually firing away questions like he does on his podcast, and you're just like, okay, this makes sense why he is who he is. But I think on his channel, the last time I looked, I believe he has 7.5 million followers.
Good. Like, he deserves it. From what I've heard, he
really does, dude.
It. Yeah.
He's a little strange, but I kind of like that because, you know, he's not, like I said, he's not afraid to be himself.
Yeah.
And he finds out the coolest things to ask people, and he finds out the coolest information, like Nickelback. You've heard of Nickelback?
Oh, yeah, of course.
So with Nickelback, he was asking Chad Kroeger, like, he knew about the band that Chad originally was in when he was like in middle school. Like, nobody knows about that band unless you're from Canada. And he's like, how do you know the name of my band from middle school, dude? Like when I was 14.
Wow.
It's just mind blowing, the stuff that he asked. But how much time do you have, man? I don't want to take too much of your time.
I think we've ordered some food, but it's not arrived just yet. But I'm pretty good to go for like another 10-15 minutes, if that's all right.
All right, we'll go another 10 then, and then
we'll
cut it off because we're at almost an hour here. So
yeah.
And I know it's late over there, so I don't want to keep you up.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Yes, sir. All right, let's see here. Inspirations. Who or what inspires you the most in your work and life?
Oh, good question. Biggest inspiration. I guess at the beginning, and like as I get older, the more I sort of understand it. Like I guess like the big ones for me were like Green Day and Blink, especially when I started. And like at the time, I was just like, oh, this music's just really cool. It's like the coolest music. Why don't more people like this?
Right.
But like, I think like you sort of, as you get older and you sort of understand like why some artists over other artists, and you realize like they just really had a knack for like making like their sound accessible. Like they obviously like made a lot of right moves, but like they just sort of understood like we need to do this to like write like songs that are gonna like people are gonna like know, and they're like gonna define like people's like the period of time in their life. Like I remember the first time I saw the video to American Idiot, and I was like, well, I guess I like this now.
right. You're like, hey, I'm not American, but I do like this shit.
I'm totally all about this now. I want to play a guitar and I want to jump up and down and all that kind of stuff. And like, it's really, and like, that's what they are for a lot of people. Like a lot of people don't realize they like rock music, and then they see like Blink or Green Day and they're like, oh, maybe I like this kind of stuff. Like, I don't know if, did Busted ever get big in the US?
Did who?
A band called Busted.
That does kind of sound familiar.
Yeah, they wrote a song that is now in America like famous as a Jonas Brothers song. Like Year 3000 is actually by the band Busted, but apparently it's like a Jonas Brothers song in the US. But yeah, but they were kind of like a band that was marketed like a boy band. So like it was kind of like your sort of like guilty pleasure that you sort of like got in, that you liked Busted when we were younger. But if it wasn't me going, oh, I like these guys who play guitars, and then it sort of like shifted me a bit more that way, and then I saw Green Day, I was like, oh yeah, bands are really cool. Like, but what's wild now is like Busted have come back after like years off, and now everyone's just like totally up for it, and now they're even bigger than they ever were, and it's all like people that never wanted to admit that they liked them back in the day.
Wasn't it one of the Jonas Brothers? Didn't he die? Or no, that was One Direction. The kid from One Direction.
One of the members of One Direction passed away last year. Was it? Yeah,
I thought it was. Yeah, not too long ago, a couple months back or so. Didn't he fall off the balcony or something? He was drunk.
Yeah, did he jump or did he fall? I never really know.
I believe he was like there was some people underneath, and he went to like he was drunk and he went to like wave at him. But because he was so intoxicated, he didn't realize his depth, and he fell.
Yeah.
And it led to, unfortunately, him offing himself. But
yeah, that's a real shame.
It is, because I actually I hate to admit it, but I actually did like them back in the day.
They've got some songs where I'm like, you can't deny this. It's a good song. Like,
Right.
and like I feel like it's another like one that people don't like to admit, but that last Harry Styles album is really good. Like, I think it's great. Yeah, it's like pop, but like he's obviously like trying to be like a sort of like an indie darling artist now, and I think he wears it well. Yeah.
I like that they were, brought up by Simon Cowell. A lot of people, I mean, we have a show here called American Idol. It's probably the same as, British Idol or whatever y'all have.
Yeah, the X Factor is what we've got.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And he was originally the main guy on there, and people didn't like Simon because there'd be terrible people that would come on and think they actually had talent, and he'd be like, dude, you're ass. Like, you're not good. just go ahead, turn around and leave. Walk out that door. Keep moving. Don't come back.
Yeah. Well, they're all. It's kind of like wrestling though on like American Idol. Like, all the judges are like playing a character. Like,
right.
They're playing a role, and like you want Simon to be the horrible one, because like then everyone can boo him, and then it like makes great television. Like,
yeah, it does. You're right. Yeah. All right, man. I'm gonna ask you maybe 2 more questions, and then we'll get out of here for you. All right. So, future trends. How do you see your industry evolving in the next few years?
Oh,
especially in UK.
It's hard to tell, because like you heard of the band Idols and like Fontaines.
Of course.
Yeah, like those bands are like huge here, and like I'm really glad that they are. But like, if you'd have asked me like 10 years ago, I'd have been like, no one's gonna like this band. This will never catch on. And like now, like it's not just like dads, like young kids, like especially Fontaines. I didn't realize how big they'd got, but like young people like love that kind of, I don't know what you'd call it, like sort of indie post-punk sort of sound.
Post-hardcore almost.
Yeah. But I guess like it's gonna change from that, because it obviously has to progress. But like, I guess it's gonna be like this sort of like grunge / new metal / shoegaze thing. Like, it's getting quite big here. We have like a scene called like new gaze in the UK at the moment, where it's like it's very much like washed out guitars, but also like real new metal sort of sound to it. Like, there's a band called like Oversize here and Split Chain, but that's kind of like the more, I guess, what's more like big in the underground. And then like
so I was supposed to see Split Chain because they were originally, well, right now they were on tour with Silverstein, and Silverstein was supposed to play here in America, in my state, in January, but we had a bad snowstorm, so it got canceled and moved to April. So now we don't get Split Chain, we get Real Friends, which I think Real Friends, if you've ever heard of them, they are an amazing band.
I think I saw them once at a festival. I think I saw Real Friends.
Yeah, they're awesome, dude.
Yeah, but yeah, Split Chain sort of came. I think they were like in bands before, but they've really come out of nowhere and like signed to Epitaph, I think, which is crazy.
In my opinion with them, their production is not very great, but their live performances, from what I've seen through YouTube, they're pretty good. And people say they're good live, but their production and like on Spotify and stuff, I'm just like, I don't really like it. I was like, who's doing y'all's producing here? Y'all need somebody to boost your reverb and something.
Yeah. Oh, fair. Yeah, they were on tour with Gel in the UK, so I saw them when they came to Southampton. They were really good. My friend was driving for them for some of the tour, and then something happened. So but yeah, that's all I really know about it.
That's pretty awesome, dude. All right, so here's the one last question I got for you. Let's see. Personal growth. How do you approach personal growth and your development?
Whoa. Okay. That's a biggie. I guess it's kind of trying to. I guess like the sort of corny thing is personal growth. as like I always say, like I feel like my best work is always ahead of me, and like not just in like music, but also like work and just like life. Like I think that I'm always like I can't have peaked already. Like I know that like I'm not technically young anymore, but like I've still got plenty of years left.
Right, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, we're the same age, so I get you.
Yeah. So I guess it's like having that kind of mindset, and then I think like on a deeper level, it's like not letting go of the inner child that kind of still wants to explore and learn and all of that stuff. I think once that goes, that's like when you stop growing, really, isn't it? It's like once you get like set in your ways, then it's like, oh no, yeah. So I think that's the way I would stick to it. It's like never let your inner child truly die, which I think any artist would say, because otherwise they stop being an artist. But
exactly, I mean, you always at the end of the day, I feel like even people our age, you gotta kind of have that inner child in you, man. If you don't, you're just gonna die a miserable person, dude. and who the hell wants to do that?
Exactly.
Not me.
And I think like once you get older as well, you realize that adults aren't real. Like everyone's just a child with a salary.
Yeah,
that's all that
changes. Unless you're an American, then we got a bunch of people that swear they're zombies, bro. You're like, are you real? Are you Karen? Like, what are you?
Yeah.
Well, hey man, I'm gonna let you go get your dinner, and I really do appreciate your time and you coming on here and talking to me. Yes, sir. And thank you for coming on Chords and Chaos. It's been awesome talking to you.
Yeah, it's been good to talk to you too as well. Nice to meet you.
Yes, sir. And I look forward to whatever you can send my way, brother.
Okay, yeah, I'll definitely sort something out. Yeah, send over your details and whatnot, and we'll get something over to you.
We'll stay in contact.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, brother. Well, you have a good night. I appreciate your time, and stay blessed, man.
Yeah, you too.
Thank you for coming on.
Bye.
Have a good one. Thank you, everybody that tuned in today. We appreciate you, and we look forward to next week. Peace.